Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Katrin from Ravensburger, who's going to talk about Scotland Yard, the card game by Inka and Marcus Brand.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a very familiar brand.
Yep.
Everyone knows Scotland Yard, but we have lost the map.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's based on the same principle as the board game.
Okay.
You still have the detectives and the mysterious Mr.X right here.
Okay.
The detectives still want to expose Mr.X first and then catch him. You still have the tickets, just like the board game, the underground, the bus, and the cab tickets.
Okay.
And there are certain actions you can play to try and expose Mr.X and then get the card away from him.
Okay.
There are
expose Mr.X because you don't know who he is.
Yes. That's
He's
one
of
point.
the players.
Yes.
Okay.
The card gets shuffled up into the first 10 tickets and one player gets it randomly in the beginning.
Okay.
And another point, which is also very exciting, the Mr.X card can change players during the game.
Okay.
So if you're Mr. X in the beginning, I could be Mr. X in the end.
All right.
And this goes on until either the detectives have caught Mr. X or the detectives run out of tickets. Because then they have no other choice to make.
How do we use the tickets during the game?
You have 8 tickets on hand. Let's see. 5, 6, 8. And you always have to put a ticket right here, which is bigger than the number that's already there, but smaller than the number next to it.
Okay.
So you can put a 17 or up to 38. Same for here, from 40 to 72. And here you just have to put a card which is bigger than 73.
Okay.
Then there are certain actions.
So of course, if you're Mr. X, you could just wipe out, make huge jumps here.
Yeah,
in terms of doing here.
Yeah.
But you look fishy.
Yeah, exactly. So if Mr. X is already exposed, he can obviously still use his black tickets.
Okay.
Because there are actions that the detectives can use and actions that only Mr. X can play.
Okay.
For example, he can draw 4 more tickets. He can make the detectives lose their tickets. Or, this is a really good one, if he says, okay, this is getting a little bit too hot for me right now. If he plays this one, every player has to put a card into the middle. He can put his Mr. X card if he wants. You shuffle them, and everyone gets a new card.
Okay.
That's how he moves.
So how does Mr. X use these actions? Then everyone knows who he is.
Yeah. So it's smart for him if he's already exposed to use them.
Okay.
So if people know you're Mr. X, you can obviously play the Mr. X cards, but not before.
Okay, and how do you catch me then? So if you know I'm Mr. X, how do you actually catch me during the game?
With this action. So if I know you're Mr. X, I play a card right here, let's say 75. It obviously has to be bigger than 73.
Yes.
And in this case, I could play a red card, which means I could just take 2 cards away from you.
Okay, and if you grab the Mr. X, then that's it.
Then it's over.
Okay.
Yeah. Very strategic and very adventurous.
Interesting. It's a very, very unusual change in the description. Thank you. Scotland Yard, das Kartenspiel.